Congratulations on exit.
All kinds of sectors of PUBG. That helps.
Right. Okay, I'm going to answer a few questions now from the stream. Thanks very much, everyone. And if anyone can answer any of the questions, feel free to talk over me, because I might just be struggling here. But starting from, are you at FleetCon PG? Yes, I'm in the FleetCon player group. And everyone else is welcome to join. It might just be that the joining is a bit choked at the moment. We've had a lot of last-minute joinees to the expedition. We went from something like 4,000 a week ago to 12,000, probably approaching about now. I don't know. I haven't looked at the roster. I'm a bit afraid to look. It's a number that scares me, to be fair. About 10% of you are currently on the stream right now, at least if you're not spectating, which leads us to one of the other questions I saw. Are you allowed to spectate? Of course you can. I'll be streaming as much as I can. I'll be making videos, we'll be putting out newsletters, as I've said already. We'll be putting out all kinds of publishings, whether it's in the forum threads, whether it's on Discord, publications, that's the right word. Whether it's tweeting, you know, there's just going to be a whole amount of content that's going to be published and generated by this, not just from us, but from literally 11,000 people. If we are expecting things to scale up tenfold in terms of the amount of awesome stuff generated, then I can tell you now that minds are going to be blown. So get insurance on that. Let's see what other questions we can answer. So what's the best way to contact the fleet mechanics, Alex? I'm not sure Alex is paying attention, so we'll come back to
Breaking
that.
up there, Alex. You're gonna have to
was it?
say it again some more slowly so Alex can actually...
Oh, I see. Alex, what is the best way to contact the fleet mechanics?
Oh, sorry, I was muted there. Yeah, the best way would be to get onto the FleetCom Discord, and inside there we've got a Distant Worlds 2 in-game support channel. It's got a bot function and everything already built in, so you just type !repair, and we'll do the rest. We'll be in there asking you questions and sending someone your way as fast as possible.
Thank you. And I've just noticed that the Waypoint 2 has officially been released, so everybody, you want to know where we're going next? The Omega Nebula, the Omega Mining, what's it called? Omega Mining Station? Omega Mining Station, I think.
Nice.
But that's not the waypoint itself. That is, we're going to be doing something there. And we are heading towards the Omega Nebula. The Waypoint 2 has been officially released. So there we go. It's apparently 140 jumps for someone who's never done more than 20, so good luck with that. You're going to be doing a lot more than 140 jumps, so I hope you know what you're getting yourself into, Roger. Looking forward to being part of the PG, that's great. Yeah, a lot of people are probably stuck, not in the PG just yet. Just join in your own private groups just for the launch event, and I'm really sorry about that, but this is just, unfortunately, things got out of control. Okay, let's see if there's any more questions.
There's a big bump towards the end there.
Yeah, we had a massive bump. There's going to be charts and all kinds of statistics posted about all this soon. Are the bookmarks being moderated in the squadron or is it bugged? Sorry, say that again?
No, so yeah, because we've had worries about people thinking that we were fudging the numbers ourselves. So I was like, no, we're not going to be doing this. This is really what's going on, you guys. Yeah, so I was watching a stream earlier and I saw he was saying that rumors are going around that maybe not the organizers, but maybe other people just signing up on the sheets to boost the numbers to get media involved and all that. And I was like, you know, that's ridiculous, right?
Well, Frontier, I'm sure, can confirm.
It's quite funny.
I mean, to be honest, as with what happened with Distant Worlds 1, we did lose some people along the way, and more people did sign up and actually came, but that wasn't like, you know, deliberate. But we are expecting, you know, quite a few thousand. I'd say at least 6,000 people are going to make it to Beagle Point, and 8,000 people are going to make it. Well, maybe even 8 or 9,000 are going to make it all the way to Sajay. So that's what we're hoping. But, you know, it could grow even more. For all we know, we'll have 20,000 by the end of next week. That's what happened with Distant Worlds 1. We kind of doubled by the time we got to Beagle Point in terms of people that were signed up. So, yeah. The sky's the limit.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Right?
Quick PSA, the name of the station you are plotting to is Omega Mining Operation. That's that asteroid base in the Omega Nebula.
Yeah, well, you can plot there. That's not the waypoint as far as I know. I think the waypoint itself is something else which I don't have to hand. But we will be doing...
It's called rolled landing.
Yeah,
It's in 7.
You
Oh, Olivia.
Simply
Base camp, yeah.
I unfortunately am not able to hear Olivia at all. I can hear the occasional syllable, but nothing more than that. So I would love to do a talk with you, Olivia, because what you're doing is quite interesting as well. Well, very interesting. And I've told that to a lot of people, and they've gone, wow. So I would love to do an interview with you when Discord's doing it a bit better, if that's all right. Maybe on the next live stream. But yeah.
How's it now?
Pardon? Oh, that was a bit better.
How's my comms?
It's a bit better actually. So do you want
It's
to talk
not your
about the
brand,
truckers?
Olivia.
Copy.
Okay. I don't think it's going to go well, Olivia. We'll talk about the truckers later. As a brief overview, we have a roleplay kind of thing going on, organised by Olivia and her team, whereby we set a goal to try and carry one of every single commodity from the bubble to Beagle Point, and we've got a lot of commanders signed up taking part in that, bringing their own share. So but there's more to it than that, and Olivia will give the lowdown probably in the next live stream, if that's okay, Olivia.
Okay, yep.
All right.
For me.
I'm going to say goodbye to my little tire here, because I think the time has come now to travel to the Distant Worlds 3302 beacon. It's 1:30 now, and it might take a while to get instance and all that, so I think we better make an early start. So for anyone who's watching, a very brief history. Oh, by the way, before I go anywhere else with this stream, I just want to say a big thank you to my organisation team. And the my is not a possessive term. I don't own you guys. I mean my as in, well, I don't know what I mean, but the organisation team of Distant Worlds 2, I just want to say a big thank you. The amount of work you guys have put in over the better part of a year. Well, we announced Distant Worlds, in October 2016, which is 3303, basically, right? So you've been working at it. You got hired not too long after that. I believe Aramis started hiring a lot of you back then, or asking you to volunteer at least. And you've been putting in an unholy, or even a holy amount of work. You've just really done the most amazing work. You've been throwing around ideas for a year. You've been writing big documents, putting together big databases, big, the outfitting thing. You know, it's just been a ridiculous amount of work. I've seen some of you get burnt out because it really is a very large amount of stuff to do. And I can say this without the slightest regret of exaggeration. This expedition would not have happened without you. So, an absolutely massive thank you, seriously, to all of you. From the bottom of my heart, seriously. And I believe that everyone who's watching the stream owes a big thanks as well. Maybe not yet, because you don't know if I'm just making it up. Maybe we've got actually nothing planned at all. But I think it's you're going to be pouring your thanks out to the organisation team. Everyone here and everyone who's not been able to make it.
I want to just say that quick that I want to thank you as well for, setting this all up so we can be a part. You and Aramis and all you guys did an amazing job.
Oh, you're welcome.
And
You
then
are
just
very much welcome.
Also, thank you to all the players that are getting involved, because like that was said on the live stream a couple days ago, really it's you guys who are doing this for, and if it wasn't for them, we'd just be sitting around fiddling our thumbs. So
yeah, it's been a pleasure. We've had a lot of fun. I think a lot of people have spotted us chatting away in the Crepe chat, or whatever it's called, which we're currently in right now, Creep chat. And we've been having a lot of fun. We've been having a weekly meeting pretty much, and we've just thrown around a lot of good ideas, and we've actually seen them come to fruition. It's been a massive pleasure. And the final thank you, I guess, I will echo, goes to Aramis. The the brains behind it all, I would say. We based this entire expedition on his courage, his intrepid self, his original expedition, Distant Suns, which took him to the other side of the galaxy back when nobody knew just how hard it would be. And that makes it even harder because it's hard enough as it is. And you can imagine, can you imagine? No one's done it before, no one knows what it's like. And imagine that's you, and you're there 30,000 light years, let's say. You've already gone past the black hole, Sagittarius A, and somehow you're like not even halfway, and you're completely burnt out and you're exhausted, and you have to be like, wow, is this even possible? And he said, yeah.
In addition to that, the game back then was a completely different one. Like, you had a whole set of additional challenges that you don't really have anymore.
Exactly. It was quite something. It was quite something. And then he kind of publicized the notion of going on these mass expeditions in the first place. And we all, I mean, I remember reading about him, and before I even knew him, like, I remember the first time I spoke to him, I was in awe, like thinking, wow, I'm speaking to a true, like, hero. Somehow I've managed to become his friend through deception mainly, and we've managed to put together Distant Worlds, which happened one time we were having a conversation. It's legend now, but me and him were talking about, he was telling me how he's planning on doing it again, and I said, oh, can I come? And then he said, yeah, and we were like, why don't we invite some more people? And we posted it on the forum, and more people came, and then we realized loads of people interested, so we decided to make a roster. And before we knew it, within about a month, we were going with several hundred people across the galaxy, the biggest thing that happened in the game ever. And, well, the rest is legend, really. So anyway, a big thank you to Aramis Kamzor, the hero of the day. And we, again, another person we just could, none of this would have happened without you. Not just in terms of your inspiration, but in terms of your hard work, because you've put in as much work as any of us, if not more. Probably a lot more. You've gone to Beagle Point like 10 times just to plan the route, I believe, and take various versions of your commanders. Anyway, big thanks to Aramis Kamzor. And I'm going to save the final thank you to Frontier, which, well, that's not the final thank you. The final thank you will be to someone else, but we'll save that for a bit later. The penultimate thank you will be to Frontier Developments. They are an outstanding developer of video games. They've made several games, but Elite Dangerous is the one that we all care about. And oh my goodness, we've got loads of walkers coming into this beak. It's a bit crazy, like NPCs. That's just adding to the fray, I guess. It's David Braben's inspiration that this game was made. A one-to-one recreation of the Milky Way. That's what suckered me into this game. I was like looking at a game about space and thinking, oh, there's no way I'm going to get that, otherwise I'll lose my life. But then it was like, but one-to-one recreation of the Milky Way? That's just absolutely crazy. How can I... That's not a good thing for the stream. Load this space. How can I ever skip that one over? So I bought the game with my wife's money, and it's just changed my life, this game. It really has, and it's changed the life of a load of people. They have put in an unholy, I'm using that phrase again, amount of work into making this possible. They've done back-end work, front-end work, they've done promotion, they've allowed us to have this amazing CG that we're doing. In case anyone in the stream doesn't know, we are building a station in the galactic core, only a stone's throw away from Sagittarius A star. That is wonderful. That is, like, that's going to change the face of the galaxy forever. And I'm just so pleased that they've done that. Now, if you just don't mind, I'm just going to see if I can free up some space on my drive so we don't keep getting these annoying messages. Just give me 1 second. Okay, 8 gigabytes freed. Sorry about that. Right. Yeah, so Where were we? Thank you, Frontier, for all the hard work you put in, for really supporting this event. Really, really supporting it. Oh, someone's got their hard points out. That's probably an SLF though, so I'm going to allow it. But generally speaking, the rules are no hard points are allowed to be out in FleetCom when you are asset gathering. There are rules posted, and yeah, unfortunately I haven't got a link right now, but just read up. So yeah, again, big thank you to Frontier for wholly and utterly supporting it.
Especially for the final update, really,
Yeah, this has been a fantastic
really
update.
making this special.
Yeah, because when we wanted to announce Distant Worlds 2, we had to base it around something meaningful. It couldn't just be, you know, just another one of the same types of expedition as Distant Worlds 1 and all the other ones that have come since. It has to be something new. And the only way it took Beyond's update to even make us announce it, but little did we know how awesome it was going to be. The codex and the new scanning technologies are the perfect thing to base an expedition around. Seriously, we are literally doing what any kind of explorer could ever dream of, which is literally crossing the galaxy and seeking out new life and new civilization to boldly go. Well, admittedly we've been before, but not in this capacity. So yeah, a big thank you for Frontier for continually supporting this amazing game. It's slow because they want to do it right, and I'm just loving every single update. When the game gets boring because there hasn't been an update in a while, I do something else, but I always know that they're going to keep working on the game and keep improving it, and eventually we're going to realize the dream of the absolute perfect space game, which we're very close to as it is. So anyway, enough sucking up to Frontier. What did I have next? I actually have a story to tell. I'm not a storyteller, so I have no idea how this is going to go. But I thought I'd tell a story. Is that something that would interest 1,290 people? It's a story about a famous explorer, nonetheless, no less. Ferdinand Magellan. Was his name Ferdinand? Oh, gosh. Magellan. The guy who the Magellanic Clouds are named after now. Admittedly, they have been known for as long as humans have looked at the sky in the southern hemisphere, but for the Western world, they were only discovered by and made popular by Magellan on his voyage, which I'm about to tell you about. So the reason I'm going to tell you this is because he's a famous explorer, and I think there's some lessons and some parallels to learn from his story. So just to fill like the last 5 or 10 minutes, I'm just going to tell a quick story about his life, and I hope I get the details right because I'm not a historian, but I've just kind of read up on him the last few days. So it was around the time when Columbus had discovered the New World, and there were spice wars going on. In that, originally the spices that were basically fueling the economy of Europe back then were controlled by Venice and controlled by the Arab world, and Portugal had kind of found a way of getting all the way to India and back and bringing along the spices and kind of usurping the economy from Venice. So there were wars, like wars at sea, with the Arabs and with Venice against Portugal. Magellan made a hero out of himself back then. He was in Malacca in Malaysia, and there was a plot. The Sultan there had invited the captain of his ship to a game of chess, and Magellan was left back on the boat, and he noticed all these boats creeping up to do an attack. And so Magellan kind of very calmly walked to the palace and told his captain that he needs to come back to the boat, and there was a battle, and you know, they made it out. There were about 80 deaths, I think, at that event, but he managed to save the vast majority. Anyway, skipping ahead, he was an aspiring explorer. I guess he wanted to make his fortune, which is something we can all relate to, because not all of us go out there purely for the sake of exploration, but I guess he also wanted to see the world. If you look at the way his expedition went, it actually does kind of tell that he was interested in exploring as well as making money. So it took a while. He was framed for something he didn't do. Apparently, we don't really know the truth, but in the end, he was kind of spurned by the king of Portugal. So he decided to go to Spain instead, and he told the Spanish king that he could find a new way around the world to the Indies to kind of get hold of spices and help the Spanish economy. And of course the king was very interested in that, so he funded Magellan. And Magellan then took 5 ships and decided to try to get to the Indies by going around this, what's called the I actually can't remember, but a strait through South America to get through to the Pacific Ocean and hopefully onto the Indies. So he set out with his 5 ships, and all of the ships were full of Spanish captains and Spanish crew, and they didn't trust him, they didn't like him. And not only that, he realized that, so he was being quite stern and quite cold. And in order to avoid Portuguese ships that were obviously going to try and stop him in any way they could, he took a beeline south instead of going straight for America. And then there was a mutiny by one of the captains, and so he put that captain in stocks and he calmed it down for a second. There was a second mutiny at some point, he calmed that down, and they eventually did cross the Atlantic Ocean and made it to South America. And then they went to Rio de Janeiro and they restocked, and then they carried on south looking for this strait. I think it was the Rio River. Well, it turned out, he thought that was it, but it turned out to be a dead end, so that was a big disappointment. At this point his crew was starting to give up hope and want to turn back, but he insisted that they carry on. This obviously led to eventually another mutiny when they carried on and they wanted to head back, and things were getting colder. It was approaching winter in the southern hemisphere, so they ended up stopping. They did see loads of cool things, like hopefully we're going to see. They saw large humans which they called Patagonians. They tried to capture one, and I think they actually did capture one, which is not good, but anyway, we'll move on. They saw penguins and seals for the first time, and I think they call them dark dogs and dark chickens or something. It's all really cool. It's a big parallel. We're going to be going out and finding new things and going into uncharted territories and doing what explorers do in general. They eventually did find the strait. It was very difficult to navigate. That reminds me of Distant Stars. It took a lot of complicated twists and turns to be able to get into the Cancri cluster, and that's exactly what they did on the strait of whatever. As I say, I forgot the name. I'm not a very good storyteller. They eventually made it through. They had restocked, but unfortunately the Pacific Ocean was way bigger than they ever could have dreamed. So a lot of people died of scurvy and malnutrition by the time they got to the first few islands. Now this is another... Is it the Strait of Magellan? Yeah, thank you. Okay, it's Strait of Magellan, thank you. Thank you, Google, or whoever, historian. And, oh, the Trotsky's DBX is named Magellan. So this is really cool. He is an inspiration in some ways, except for the next part of the story. So the next part of the story is when he eventually got to what's now known as the Philippines, he encountered the natives and he put on his missionary hat. I'm going to bring Christianity to the native barbarians of this place. And he had some success, which inspired him to try and get involved in another island. Unfortunately, they revolted, and unfortunately it ended in a battle where Magellan was killed. So let that be the final lesson for us, that if we are going to encounter any new civilizations, let's try and bring a message of peace and understanding rather than war, which is what's kind of happened with the Thargoids and sent everything going quite badly. He was killed, but at least one more ship and a few other people on another ship eventually made it back to Spain. They were the first people to fully circumnavigate the entire globe, so that again is something to inspire us on our way. Now that's the end of my story. It's time to start lining up for a mass jump. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a star in the general direction of where we're going. In fact, if everyone here could actually see, if we want to make the mass jump perfect, I'm going to pick something good, so something nearby that everyone can reach. So I think the first jump should be to Col 285 sector, OZ-K Bravo 23-3. I'm leaving it on the screen for a few minutes so everyone can target that. Oh, a few people have put in something else. Alright, changed my mind. People have put in HR space 5413. Okay, it's not in the exact direction we're going, but it'll do. So that's HR, Human Resources, space, 5413. Yeah, okay, apparently that's what everyone's doing. I'm unaware, unfortunately, because I'm just focused on this live stream, but thank you for that. So if everyone could target that system and basically get ready to... What the general protocol in these is to have your throttle at 0 and then get your FSD charging like I'm doing now. And when it's... Oh, but don't accidentally charge the super cruise. You need to charge to hyperspace. So for me that's X D-pad down, which I believe is the default. Have it fully charged so that all you need to do is hit the throttle up and then we can all go together on the count of 10. So the expedition launches at exactly 2000, i.e. 8 PM UTC, which is in 5 minutes and 30 seconds now. If there's any last minute questions, I'm just gonna dip into the big chat that's going on Discord right now and just see if anyone has anything they want to shout out to the live stream. Please bear in mind that my stream is supposed to be PG rated. That's child friendly, so if anyone blatantly flaunts that, I'm not going to be pleased. So I'm joining the expedition voice now. It says it has over 100 commanders in it, so...
Wait for the...
Hello everyone, you are now live to 1,396 people. If you want to say hi.
I think I've never seen people.
5 minutes, by the way.
Launch is 5 minutes.
Okay, this isn't going so well because of Discord problems.
5 minutes.
I'm not sure, can anyone hear me as I say?
Yeah. Very free.
This is the sound of hundreds and hundreds of people breaking Discord.
Handle the people.
Okay, I'm going to have to leave unfortunately. I'm going back to the other chat, but it's been nice to see everyone. Yeah, TeamSpeak would have been good, but unfortunately it didn't do so well last time, so we didn't really promote it this time around, and Discord has 10,000 people on it already, so... Oh, I just cannot find my own chat anymore. I'm scrolling through literally thousands of people, it feels. Okay, one final word. We have a protocol for what happens if any attack happens, and I don't want to... Basically, the reason why I haven't mentioned it until now is because that's the goal. I want to just minimize anything to do with ganking. Unfortunately, if it happens to you, it's not going to be pleasant. I hope it's not going to happen to the vast majority of us. And if it does happen, the best thing you can do is just calmly log out, not make a big deal about it, not feed the griefers. Just log out, be in touch with Frontier Support, tell them what happened. Hopefully, I mean, as they would for anyone, they should restore you with all your data intact and just move on as if nothing happened. That person will get kicked. They might make a video, nobody's going to watch it. Nobody cares, really. So that's the general mood for the griefing situation, and that's all I'm going to say on that. And my final word is a big thank you to the 1,441 people on this stream, and to the many thousands of people that I hope are going to watch this stream afterwards. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for joining us on this epic journey crossing the galaxy. Distant Worlds 1, true, we organised it, but all we did was basically give you a direction, give you a bit of structure, but the expedition was you. You guys, you 12,000 people right now, are the ones that are going to make everything memorable about this expedition. And what I would absolutely love to see is creativity. I want to see games, I want to see events, I want to see crazy things happening, I want to see explosions of SRVs and SLFs only, hopefully. I want to see new ideas, just things that are just going to give Charlie plenty to write about, things that have never been seen before in a game, and at the end of it I want the same thing that happened with Distant Worlds 1. Distant Worlds 1 was an event that only had positive things said about it. Now, imagine that. Elite Dangerous, a game that everyone's passionate about, gets a lot of negative things said about it just because that's the nature of games and everyone has an opinion about everything. But can you imagine, in that environment, people can only say positive things about Distant Worlds? That's what happened. Everywhere I look, the comment sections of articles, the forums, everywhere where people talk, Reddit, all that happened was positive, wow, that looks cool. And at the end of it, anyone who took the time to come to me and say anything, they basically said some version of, that was the best thing I ever did in a game ever. So yeah, that's what we're expecting again. That's the bar we've set, and we're gonna have to cross again. So big thank you to everyone in advance for all the awesome stuff that's about to happen. Okay, T-minus 1 minute. Any final words from the organisers? Hello? I'm sure my organisers have plenty to say. They just maybe can't hear me because Discord is broken.
Final word would be
Little.
stuff with that's really about.
Alright, everyone's breaking up unfortunately. I think everything's exploding. So, yeah.
Yeah, no,
we
if you can hear me, we can hear James.
I can barely hear you, unfortunately. We've got 20 seconds. When it comes down to the countdown, I want everyone in this Discord chat to join me. When I say go, everybody throttle to maximum. Let's jump to HR 5413. Distant Worlds 1, Distant Worlds 2 is about to begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage!
Ah.
I'm stuck up.
Jump on board into those cars, or will the wandering souls come and lend a hand for the distant worlds? Or take a blast or two, cause in those pristine rings there's a fortune for you. We'll work together, my friend, as the mother load cracks, this might come to an end. Jump on board
Into those cars.
or will the wandering souls come and lend a hand
for the distant world.
Left us fire and jump drives count. A voice comes filled, there's a chatter about the target set and the works in your hands. Come and build a hope in the distant lands. Search those systems till there's nothing to find. Leave the trouble in the bubble way behind. This is your chance as the future unfolds. Come and lend a hand on the distant world.
That was a song written for Distant Worlds 2. Come and lend a hand for the Distant Worlds. This song will be shared. It isn't the official soundtrack, I would say. It's the official song of Distant Worlds. It's written by Tom Cook, aka Tokoso, and the details will be shared as well as the lyrics. And I think it's an absolutely beautiful song. Let's take a look at what we've arrived at in this system. Look at that. That's it. The clock is now negative. We are now officially in Distant Worlds 2 time. I'm going to end the stream here and let you guys have the adventure of a lifetime, and we'll be back. I'm just going to see if I can get a goodbye from our organisers if Discord is not exploding. Any goodbyes from our fellow organisers, anyone?
Yeah, I'm gonna head off in a bit. Good night to all of you, and God.
We've got 1,634 people in the stream. We can hear you. We heard your well wishes. Goodbye to everyone. Getting loads of 07s. And if we could just end on a quick phosphorus. Anyone who saw the Elite Dangerous live stream will know what phosphorus means.
No.
Phosphorus, everyone. Servers don't be dead.
Phosphorus.
They're not dead for me.
Fly safe, everybody.
Thanks very, very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's hard to end a stream for 1,600 people, but I can't just be streaming all night. I
Right.
need you guys to get away and have your own adventures now. Phosphorus, everyone. Good luck, Godspeed, and good night.
We'll see you soon.
Good luck, buddy.
Frameshift drive charging.